Well, the fall is here. That's right. And it's a fantastic day for the MJ experience. And I am your host, Mindy Joe. That's right. And today's experience, we will be touring the Gallaudet Museum, which is housed at Gallaudet University here in Washington, D.C., in Ward 5. That's right. Yes. So we have some really great um, artifacts to share with you. Such a rich history here at Gallaudet. I mean, this is a hidden gem. And guess what? I just unlocked that hidden gem on the MJ experience for you. So here's what I want you to do: share this experience, share with me how you enjoyed this experience by commenting on the dcvoice.com. And also share what other experiences you would like to see me embark upon. But tune in. I hope you enjoyed today's experience. Well, thank you guys for tuning in on today, and we are here at Gallaudet University. We're here at the museum. And today, you guys, I have the pleasure of being here with beautiful Meredith Peruzzi. Yes, what do you find was kind of one of your challenges when you first came to Gallaudet as a student?
So for me, a challenge was getting back into school life. I left university, then I came back. But it was really wonderful to provide a sense of home here.
Pleasure of being here with beautiful Meredith Peruzzi. Yes, what do you find was kind of one of your challenges when you first came together as a student?
So for me, a challenge was getting back into school life. I left university, then I came back. But it was really wonderful to provide a sense of home here. Full access, direct communication with your teachers, your friends, social life, everything. So it felt like it was a coming back home. And that's something that we emphasize here at the museum as well. That's how Gallaudet is a home for our students, including our international students. They come here and they still feel a connection with other people.
Wow, wonderful, wonderful. So that's what really keeps people wanting to come back is that connection of love and kindness. and things like that.
Yes, absolutely. We are a university, the same as anyone else as far as the academics go, but we're also.
I just want to be clear and let our viewers know that it is best to say the word deaf versus hearing impaired.
Yes, thank you for that. It is important. Really, it's not. We don't focus on a lack of hearing. It's not a problem with hearing. The university here in the community is about our culture, and our language, and we can communicate just fine. There really is no impairment in our community. That's why we prefer using the term deaf.
Thank you for that. So, can you teach me some signs?
What do you want to know?
Okay. I would like to say, learn welcome to Gallaudet.
Welcome. Gallaudet. So you may have seen our logo.
Yes.
It's kind of the same shape that you would make with your finger. You make that same shape as our logo.
Okay, wonderful, wonderful. Thank you for that. Now, I do want to touch base on the importance of closed captioning.
So closed captioning is a way for deaf and hard of hearing individuals to receive spoken language on screen. So since that equipment has been available to us, we've had access to pretty much everything.
1979, National Casting Institute founder.
So we can talk about the Gilmore Girls and Beat 2, or the 24, or the recent Wonder Woman movie, because we have access, and that's because.
Thank you for that. And welcome. Thanks for tuning in to Where Everything's an Argument. I have a different look today. I wanted to get back to my roots. I'll get back all the way to my roots in a few. Just had to make sure, I come in look a little fancy. You guys like that appeal, that certain appeal. If I don't have those designers, at least I need to have that makeup on and have that hair looking fine and all of that. So I didn't name this wig yet, so I'm going to I'll figure out a name. But it's very temporary, very temporary. I'll be getting back to my real roots pretty soon. Nonetheless, thank you so much for tuning in today. And how's everyone doing? How is everyone doing? I tell you, we are it's Thursday. Yes, Thursday, and we are about three weeks in, and we're surviving thus far. It's been a struggle. It's been a struggle, but we're surviving. We're surviving. Yes, and welcome to Where Everything's an Argument. But guess what? We can agree to disagree. That's right. And today, I believe we just might have a lot to discuss today. All right. Well, we're going to kick off with our politics segment. We'll just go straight into it. We'll just go right into that. Okay. The impeachment is here. Yes. Oh, let me not forget.
Today's tea, I have chai tea with a little splash of whipped cream and cinnamon. Yes, very tasty. hmm Yes, I need that picker upper for this one here. All right, so let's get back. We're at impeachment. Yes, round two. It must be nice. You had to impeach him twice. That's right. Hey, it must be because I tell you, this is unprecedented. They have not impeached president twice before, and considering President Don T is one of a kind. He didn't get into politics the normal way. He wasn't grandfathered in, so, he came in on a different marching tune, and it has definitely set a precedence here in Washington like no other. I tell you, I'm not sure they were ready here in Washington. I don't know. Maybe they weren't ready to work. That's what it was. Because I tell you, Don T made him work. He made him work. I mean, he made him work just like Biden signed those. How many of those? About 100 executive orders in a day? Yeah, that's the kind of work. I mean, but they actually had to do some work. Joe just signed off on it. Hopefully, he knew what he was signing off on. But goodness, I tell you, I definitely have to take a cue from the tech giants whenever they were giving their hearing. And I wanted to adopt a phrase to kind of go into the context. Oh, but before I do that, look, you guys. All right, so we have our little red, white, and blue book. Who's been keeping up with their book? Who's been keeping up with the Constitution? You see there, you see everything's an argument has prepped you. For moments like today, for the impeachment trial. We've been going over the Constitution. We've been really, really going over this. So this, very handy right now. So get your Constitution out while you're looking at the impeachment trial. But moving right along, yes, I wanted to adopt a phrase from the tech giants when they were giving their hearings. And that phrase is, I don't agree with the characterization of the account and accusations from the January 6th Save America rally and protest that was here in Washington. And I think we really forget what the purpose of the protest was for. The purpose of the protest was for the people to gather in unison to protect their votes. That's what they wanted to do. I don't think it was there to put any pressure on anyone or anything like that. They just wanted to bear witness to see if history was going to be on the right side and if that moral arc was going to bend to the right side of justice. That's what. It's unfortunate that, again, some cue cards had a little bit better advantage, than some people. But I must say, I cannot agree with all that characterization that was going on during that impeachment trial. Yes. So let me gather some of the notes that I have taken. First, we'll like to start off with when Madam Speaker of the House, when she was dressed, in her all white, they were, what was it? They were honoring women or something like that on that day. But we also have to remember, before the January 6th march, she actually set the tone in precedence for, I guess you want to say, the unraveling of America. Yes, she set the tone. Remember when she shredded that State of the Union? It was like she was up there, and you remember she did that to that State of the Union address. Yes, I mean, how could you? That right there, that moment right there set the tone and changed the dynamics in America right then and there. I mean, who tears up such? That was almost equivalent to the Declaration of Independence, don't you think? I mean, that's the president's moment, the State of the Union, you know, considering, right now, I guess we'll be looking forward to Joe Biden's State of the Union address pretty soon. I don't know, but I'm led to believe that that kind of actually set the tone for, guess what? The moral arc is pretty much bent out of shape. The bar is set so low. How low can you go? In limbo. That's where it's at right now. And then I also saw, oh my goodness, what I will say is these congressional officials most certainly put on their best Tony Awards performance on that floor yesterday. Yes, they have. Now, if they would put that much emotion and emphasis in their constituent services concerns, addressing those concerns, closing those cases out, do you think people would be complaining about $1,400 stimulus when they were promised 2,000? But remember, President T told them, go high, go big, But when President T told them to go big, I don't know, what did they take that as? Maybe another insurgency, um, you know, uh, a catchphrase, or we just don't know right about now. But yes, I mean the emotion. I don't think Hollywood could have written a better script for them down there on that floor. What do you say? What do you think? Chime in. Let me know. Everything's an argument. We can agree to disagree. But I tell you what, I haven't found anyone that can actually attest to the emotions that were exuded on that floor, that they have actually put that same vigor behind addressing their constituents' concerns. How about it? You know, I mean, once again, we got to remember they've locked us out. Now they're saying they locked us out because of January 6th, but I don't think that's the case. I think it was probably before then. Well, moving right along, um, Congresswoman Stacey Plaskett. Yes, we haven't seen her in quite some time. Yes, we haven't seen her in quite some time. Very interesting, right? What shall I say? Yeah, I had a little chai tea on my glasses. I wanted to clear it up a little bit. Yes, so we haven't seen her in such a long time, and quite frankly, Epstein Island is over there where she is, the congressional person over on that side. Yeah, that Virgin Island. We haven't heard much from her ever since, Jeffrey Epstein. And then she gets on that floor and, shows out a little bit that I tell you, everyone is putting their law experience, who has the greatest bar talk right now. That's what you're seeing. Who has the greatest bar talk? But I'll say whiskey always does it right. I don't know. Maybe Jack Daniels whiskey or vodka. But if you go down south, they might like a little moonshine. So you might have to up the stakes on those bars there. I don't know if the names are going to hold any weight on those bars. If you add a little Yale on the bar or add a little Harvard on the bar, it might balance it out to the moral arc of the right side of justice. But I tell you what, they definitely need a Tony Award. They deserve a Tony Award for those performances that they're giving down there. And what else will I say about that is these accounts. How can you, their alleged news publications that are giving them these articles? I don't recall seeing any of them out there. I don't. I don't recall seeing anyone out there with their boots on the ground. And I mean, I was out there with the people. If you go back and look at the footage, I mean, I was right there. I could not hold the expressions back. I mean, it was in the moment. Once again, let me be very clear. I did not bear witness to anyone storming the Capitol building. No, no, no. And I'm glad I didn't, because I did not want to have to turn my footage over. No, I don't want to have to turn my footage over for anything such as that. No, who wants to do that? And besides, people that, I encounter, I mean, they have enough sense to know not even to go into the Capitol like that. I mean, the people that I were around, the regular everyday citizens, who are just trying to survive, you know, they were just trying to get to the stairs. And believe it or not, They asked permission. Yes, they did. So it's various variations of the account that went down. But did they ever say what time they stormed that Capitol? Did they ever say that? you know and I mean, oh goodness gracious, just the way that they are, that vernacular that they're using, those terms, those conditions, we have to be careful about that. We don't want to set that tone, because remember, we are piling up a lot of this misinformation, and we're trying to compact it and compartmentalize it to make some common sense out of it, and we shouldn't do that. We have to also remember we started at the alleged Russia collusion from 2016. So this kind of feels like it has just a 2.0 version of this. So I'm just not sure. It's a lot of missing pieces. It's a lot of missing pieces. And what I will say, I'm just under the impression it's a lot of friction between George Soros's movements in his tabulation portfolio adjustment plans and projections, and that again, that liberty, freedom, liberty, and justice for all. And I am under the pressure, I'm led to believe that because the narrative of the Black Lives Matter, that type of intimidation didn't work, and the people still exercise their freedom of speech, their right, their constitution rights. Let's just cut to the chase. You understand? Okay, so again, people were marching for criminal justice, and people were protesting for their constitutional rights. So that's what we have to always remember. People were protesting on behalf of George Floyd based upon an alleged counterfeit $20 bill. People were protesting on the what happened to Breonna Taylor. Now, these are all due to a criminal justice aspect. You understand? This was nothing to do with an election. So we have to understand the parallels, the dynamics, so we don't confuse them. Now, getting back to this impeachment theater, it really is. I mean, now is a great time to get your popcorn. But again, how they showed those videos and those gentlemen breaking those glass, I'm not sure why the rounds weren't let off at that moment, and why the rounds were let off on the young lady, on Amy. Yes, Amy Babbitt. Why did they let the rounds off on her? This is not making sense. At the end of the day, I'm sorry. Every individual is on their own. Once you agree to participate in any type of organization functions, any type of anything, even if you're a part of these sororities, fraternities, and things like that, you're still your own individual person. Now, collectively, if your whole society decides you want to go and stomp the yard, and someone ends up doing a hazing, then chances are, hey, the person who's in charge, who set that up, may be brought in to discuss that, but maybe the person that actually did the act of the hazing with the other individual will be, reprimanded as such. Um, but to the extent they are categorizing these events and classifying them to compartmentalize them in such a extreme terrorist way, I think we need to stay away from that, because those people weren't extremists and terrorists or anything of that nature. No. And again, the logistics, the security measures. Why did the Capitol Hill police allow them to even break through the windows? That had nothing to do with black and white. That had nothing to do with your skin color, okay? That has something to do with security. You understand? So, just like if an intruder comes into your home, remember we had that case with the police officer that went into the wrong home or whatever and shot someone or whatever the case may be? Okay, well, we'll just use that for an example. Now, in the event you go down to Capitol Hill and you break out that glass like they did and showed on that video, you have every right to be stopped in your tracks. And if that includes, hey, getting a little taser or filling a little 45 to your anus, then so be it. That's just it. It just doesn't make sense. It makes no sense at all. I'm not buying it. I'm not. So we are going to kind of pause a little bit on the characterization and how we are categorizing these events, because it appears that some people had a little bit more logistics planned out with some authority granted versus the regular people who were out there in support and union of participating in the election. And they wanted to actually have an eyewitness account of this. What's going on? This is history here. Have we not forget about history? Do we not? I mean, they gave a great rendition on the impeachment floor yesterday, of the history. But guess what? They forgot to talk about is the part where my ancestors helped build that Capitol. Yes, that's the part you forgot to discuss. How about that? The part that you forgot to discuss, that my ancestors helped build that. They sure did. And I reminded you that. I did. But that's what you guys forgot to mention. My ancestors helped build that dome and all that Capitol in which you guys sit down there, and who knows if you're working for the American people or not. But maybe that's it. Maybe because you haven't been working for the American people, you want to substantiate the events that occurred on January 6th to kind of cover up for the lack of concerns that you've addressed as a congressional official, and you've opted out to address the concerns of other states and opening up the borders during a pandemic, and so forth and so on. But again, this is just, we most certainly have to be mindful of how we're categorizing these events. And they said that the journalist in the Capitol, gave a tip about the people were looking for pins. Hopefully those journalists knew what was going on, because I tell you, I've been in the Capitol sometimes when they had that reparations hearing, and some of those journalists didn't even know what the event was. So I tell you, you have to have your boots on the ground to really know what's going down here in Washington, because they will definitely, they'll tell you anything. But I did find this very interesting. Let's kind of go back a little bit to the start of just kind of the protest era. Well, that occurred in 2020. I would say around May. The city, that's when March was when, the pandemic, well, California pretty much shut their state down, and it kind of had a ripple effect all the way down. And then in Washington, just on one mysterious night, the city just under the launch, it opened up, and who knew? A Black Lives Matter protest was going to come about. But what was very interesting is the very next day, a DC police budget hearing was scheduled. And who knows, it vanished without a trace. So they weren't able to talk about the police budget, but then it went, the tone and the narrative and the march pitch was defund the police, defund the police, And they even had the little children, you guys, with the little shirts on to say F12 and all that. I'm just like, wow. But that brings me to the point where I believe it was Congresswoman Plasek was talking about The Stop the Steal, they had apparel that they even bought and made and things like that. Well, whose apparel has amassed and generated more money than Black Lives Matter? Nobody's right now. I don't even think Nike can top it. Nike has even joined up. This is what I'm saying. When the major corporations even join in on the pitch, you know, I mean, come on now. First, we started with the MAGA hat. The hat was the first thing to start, the trigger. And then once Jesse Smollett was in Chicago on that chilly night, you know, then the hat, you know, became it became a part of a news conversation. And then that's when, before she became VP, Senator Harris wanted to implement that lynching bill. So we just have to remember, we can't forget. I understand we are operating on these smartphones, and some social network sites only allow for 240 characters, but we have to make sure that we um, keep a clear conscious of what's really going on. Because it's a lot of theater going on right now. It is a lot of theater, and considering Hollywood is shut down, I tell you, they're bringing the theater onto Washington. I mean, you can look at it and see it doesn't get much better than what you see right now. I mean, this is amazing. Oh, but I did want to say, I had a opportunity to write an excellent article, you guys. So be sure to go on my website and check that out. Hold on a second. I want to share this with you. Yes. So if all else fails for me in life, you guys, I believe my next calling will be a worship leader, prayer and worship. Yeah. hmm I mean, that's all they're doing out here these days. But I think I'll just do worship, not prayer, because I don't like people's prayers, and I don't want to pray for people because not everyone believes in the same beliefs, so it is fine. Fine. Um, if I can get on the website, we tend to really have a lot of connectivity issues. Well, one more time on that. So what I will ask is, go ahead onto the website and check out the last article. It's building your faith back better during coronavirus. Yeah, it's a great article. And the reason I wanted to state that is because during the impeachment trial, Congressman Eric, he's mentioned a Bible verse, Matthew chapter 5. Blessed are the peacemakers. Yeah, blessed are the peacemakers. Yes, and blessed are those who have the faith of a mustard seed too, that still believe in America and still believe in what the founding fathers, thought. We can't ruin her. We can't. She can't be filled with disease and contamination and infestation, and we can't do that to America. We have to cleanse her out so she is just shining bright and smelling like roses, you know? Yes, we got to clean that up. We can't do that here. We really can't. And I did have my I always like to get my resources, you guys. I always like to have my resources. So dictionary, and I've been having this dictionary is probably about over 10 years old. As you can see, I have a little um tough tape on here. This isn't that gorilla glue tape. Oh goodness gracious. Who would have ever thought? Um, I wanted to get that word insurgents, insurrection. Insurrection. That's what I said. Insurgents. Well, it sounds like they've inserted themselves up in a lot of mess, right? Insurrection. That's what I wanted to get that word and get the definition for you guys. All right. Let's see here. Insurmountable. Yes, yes, indeed. Hold on. All right. Oh, well, see, I passed it up. It was right under insurmountable. Right. Insurrection. The act or an instance of open revolt against civil authority or a constituted government. Okay. Now, who actually revolted against anyone in there? But first and foremost, before they say that, did the vote already happen before they breached the doors, or was the vote going on while they did all of this? We have to backtrack on the event accounts, and oh goodness, that was a confirmation, and of what all of everything that happened. A real account. Another one of the notes I have written down, it says the framers didn't mix words. Well, the framers may not have mixed words, but I guarantee you, here in Washington, the interpretation of words, you just never know. So this is why a law dictionary is definitely always handy, a dictionary, and guess what? This Constitution, and guess what? You could never have too many, and even a pocket dictionary, a backup, because you will need it. Because guess what? Though that vernacular that they use, that government terminology, oh goodness, I tell you, it'll have you thinking. You know, you you were supposed to get you another stimulus for that $2,000. That's how it would be. It would read one way. So it's always that interpretation of law, but that's what sets the bar. And right now that bar is in limbo. It's like, how low can you go? That's what they're doing. The limbo dance. How low can you go? How low can you go? Hopefully a lot of them are flexible, because goodness, I don't know. Yes, but I hopefully they wrap this up and they don't spend too much time on this, because we don't need any more of that energy floating. We're trying to rise up. Cardi B has that song up. We're trying to move up. We're not trying to do it that way, but we're trying to rise up. Get those vibrations high. You know, and leave behind all of the bar talk, and all of the emotional placements on things that you really should put that focus and attention into your constituents concerns. Yeah. Well, that is definitely enough for politics today. I tell you, yes indeed, we are moving right along, and I want to talk into some agriculture. Yes, don't forget to support your local farmers. And I have some honey here, some clover honey, and this comes from the Apple House. Yes, in Linden, Virginia. And I also have some donuts. So going to the local farmers and things is always great. You guys, you get those good treats. And I mean, these donuts, this looks really good. I already had a little bite of it. But yeah, hmm it's really good. Not too much sweet, because I really don't like all that sugar. But yeah, go be sure to support your local farmers. And I told you this is my favorite honey. I do not have tea unless I have that honey, baby. Yes, indeed. I have to have the honey. So, Yes, be sure to go ahead on and support your local farmers. And today's tech talk, you guys, oh my goodness, this is a really special one for me, because I am on to some slide film, that a project, when I was in high school living in Louisiana. I visited Washington D.C. To do one of my projects. So I did this project. It was a photography project. I did in 2000. Yeah. So these are some slides, and I can finally share. I did my first Amazon purchase. Yes, my first Amazon purchase. And this is a slide reviewer. How about it? So I finally get to review the slides after, over 20 years, because I haven't been able to look at them because I don't have a slide film projector. And it even gets better. Well, when I visited Indonesia, I also had the opportunity to visit the Institute of Bandung. And that is pretty much equivalent to our Stanford universities, our MITs, all of our tech institutions here in the United States. So, and this is slide film. It's just not put into um, these protectors like this. Um, but yes, so I was able to, finally look at the slides in here. Yes, so this was my very first Amazon package. My yes, in purchase. Um, Very, very great. I will say it came the very next day. I did order a few more things. I'm still waiting for those. So hopefully it'll be here on time. But yeah, but this won't become a habit. It won't become a habit. I can see how that, those ordering off of Amazon can definitely bring some concerns for the family. Yes, I am definitely, I can see it. And I'm a recovering shopaholic. I am. I'm a recovering shopaholic. So I don't want to get back to that. I don't want to get back to that. I want to, let me see if you guys can. Yeah, okay. So you can see here, this is the monument when from 2000, the year 2000. Yeah, so yeah, the monument, they were doing some work on there, on the monument that particular time. Okay, does the slide want to come out? There we go. And I want to show you, let's see, I have one from the White House too. In the awakening, this is real. I mean, these are real artifacts, you guys. Like, real journalists have artifacts. You know what I'm saying? They have real artifacts, and they can always go to their library or their archives and produce, that, whatever it is that you needed. That's how it's supposed to be. um but yeah, so this is the awakening. Yeah, when it used to be down at Haines Point. So before it moved to the National Harbor. Um, yeah, so that's pretty cool. Yeah, so this was excellent. Let's see if I can get one of these slides in here. Yes, but this was, I mean, I've been waiting for this for a while. I haven't viewed these slides in about 7 or 8 years, because that's when I went to Indonesia, and I did not. I didn't have anything to view it. So this this comes at a great time, and it was really cost effective. I didn't break my budget or anything like that. And it's the size of it. It's great. It's not too bulky. It's not big. And I was trying to see about getting this. Oh, okay, great. It did come through. So let's see here. Oh, look here. This is a great one. So this is they're playing basketball. Yeah. Here, this is from Indonesia, Bandung Institute. Um, yeah, and this is the campus here. I mean, it is a magnificent campus. I viewed some of their art projects that they were doing. It was a Javanese, the Javanese people, yeah, for job. And this is some of the beautiful florals, flowers, and things that they had there. And um, yeah, this is the Institute Technology Bandung. Yeah, so yeah, yeah, so that's just a little a little bit for the tech segment today. Yeah, so I'm a little bit tech savvy, but just in a different capacity. Um, I like to kind of infuse the old forms with the new forms, but just not when it comes to this reporting style. Digital reporting. It's a digital era, so the dusty desk just has to get with. That's just it is what it is. In real time and in real life right now. That's the frequency. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed today's segment where everything's an argument, but guess what? We can agree to disagree. And it's been a lot. So please always take your time right now. Take your time to think things through. Yeah, take your time. And I want to, oh, it is Black History Month. Oh my goodness, how did I forget? That's what I'm telling you. They have so much to where it's like you forget about things that's important. You know what I'm saying? Black History Month is important. And I want to share this book here. This is one of my favorite authors, by the way, James Baldwin. Yeah, this is one of my favorite authors. And yes, Notes of a Native Son. So if you need any book recommendations for Black History Month, here's one for you. Yes, we're 11 days in back to Black History Month, by the way. So, you might want to hurry up and catch up to speed because we don't have that much time left. And I tell you, impeachment is already taken up some of the time, that we could have had learning about Frederick Douglass. Why not? You know, I tell you, whew, hold it together, hold it together. Well, I hope again you guys enjoyed the show where everything's an argument. We can agree to disagree. The arguments were stacked today, and guess what? We will definitely be back. But until then, um, definitely please just um, turn your TV off if you need to. That's always great. You can definitely do that if you need to. But I would like to let us end on a moment of a quote of a high vibration. That way you can have something to hold on to. All right, here's one for working hard. It says, there's a few things that get you over your own crap more than working hard. Adam Savage, a special effects designer. Well, I guess that is. There it is. There it is. Well, until next time, thanks for tuning in to where everything's an argument. We can agree to disagree. Have a great day. Peace.